A very good evening and a warm welcome to this virtual memorial service of the late Monde Tabata Umbinga Mawawa. One of those people from the Eastern Cape that have dented South Africa with his presence, from business, corporate, to sport. Actually, some of us will even remember him during the days of the government of the Cistai, when he was part of the structures with the commercialization of agriculture then. I was a radio cis guy then. I was a young lighty, and we used to look up to, Amahrotman Afana no Mawawa, Amahrotman Afana no Budmonde, and an immaculate dresser, a man with a presence, a man with a smile, a man, unassumingly a man that would assure you also when you get to his space that you are welcome. He had that kind of a warm personality. And unfortunately, with everything that's happening in the world today, and as much as, the president has ushered us into COVID-19 alert level 1, we still have a small percentage. Of course, we know that close to 90% of recoveries that we have seen from the statistics that Minister Dr. Zweli Mkhize has been sharing. But unfortunately, in the other 10%, we still are having friends, relatives, loved ones that fall by the wayside. And at this juncture, we pause to think of those families that have lost their loved ones. And what brings us, therefore, together tonight, in one way or the other, could be happening somewhere. And somebody that's watching this broadcast on YouTube tonight might be saying we are also in a similar situation. But guess what? Everything that will be said here and the word of God that will be shared also should go as a word of hope and comfort, a word of solace also to you if you happen to have lost a loved one. And the organizers, including the family of Watabati Mambinge, do by the mother of Beklesh, Le Memorial Mawawa tonight. Before we get any further and before we do anything, there will be tributes here. And we do have different formations. I mean, from Mega Pro, we have speakers, we have journalists, that will be represented here. So we have a tribute from sports journalism. We also have a tribute from professional rugby structures such as the Blue Bulls, the Eastern Province Rugby, the Border Rugby, SA Rugby, and we also have a tribute from our own government in the Eastern Cape. Okay, so it's quite a broad program, but interestingly enough, we also have videos that we will be playing. So in case you want to sharpen your memory about how Monde Tabata used to come across. Okay, so we'll share those with you as well. It is 5 minutes after 7. The plan is to be with you during the life and times and remembering the life and times of Monde Tabata, at least up to 9 tonight. So stick around, stay with us, and you may, as you listen, also relate, to some of the things that you will be hearing here this evening. Before sibheke phambili noko masicele umthandazo wokuvula lenkonzo yokukhumbula uMawawa, andimcele umfundisi uKhaya Mayedwa into yokuba asenzele lo mthandazo, that opening devotion. Over to you, my pastor.
Thank you very much, Program Director, and greetings to everyone at home, including the fellow panelists. I have no intentions of taking so much time on that. Today we bid farewell and honor to the man, Mawawa, that we all know very well. But the most important thing is that there's a message from the book of Romans chapter 14, verse 7, which says, when we live for the Lord. And when we die for the Lord. And there are three types of death. The first one is what you call the physical death, which we all know about, and the spiritual death, as well as the eternal death. And today we are dealing with the physical one, where the flesh is separated from the soul. And I know that Budmonde has gone to a better place than this. We believe that he's in a better place where there's no pain, where there's no there's no pain. And I just want to say to you that be strong. It's there. Death has been. It's like an appointment. The Bible says in the book of Hebrews that it is appointed upon men to die once. That's an appointment that all of us has to face, and we need to be very strong. And our prayers are with the family, the wife and the children, and everyone, the relatives at this point in time. I just want to pray if we can just bow our heads and thandaze. Bawo oyingcwele, bawo namandla onke egameni lenkosi yethu uYesu Kristu. Ngubani nofana nawe? Ubani inkosi onjengawe? Sihlangene ke kule ndawo sinakwenza nto ngaphandle kwakho. Siza kuwe sisondeza Thixo wethu le family, sisondeza ihlobo nezalamane egameni lenkosi yethu uYesu Kristu. Thixo wethu ingcwele, lo mcimbi wonke ozabala bamawuqhutywe udrive nguwe. Amandla akho Nkosi mabe phezu komprogram director, umcede Nkosi, amazwi aza kuwa apha abe intuthuzelo neyeza lokuphilisa Thixo abo Thixo wethu abenzakeleyo lento eyenzekileyo. Thixo wethu sincede Nkosi entweni zonke ngegama lika Yesu Kristu. Uthembekile Thixo wethu, zizwe zonke abantu ababukeleyo Nkosi, vela njengoThixo. Singathetha apha Thixo wethu kodwa ungathethanga wena, asayi kuncedakala. Bathi ndawo ke Nkosi ngoYesu Kristu Nkosi yethu siyabulela, kwenzekile. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Mfundisi. Thank you so much. Well, friends, now we coming to the part where we have to look at the first tribute. And Monde Tabata's contribution not only was linked to sports administration and management and opening opportunities for talent development, but it also was linked to commercialization of sport and sports sponsorships. And Mega Pro, having been all these years one of those companies that are leaders in the industry, I do remember vividly when he was at Mega Pro. And to speak on behalf of Mega Pro, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Tex Riba. Ndonomhle, please take over and share with us your memories, the good times of Monde Tabata.
Thank you very much, Program Director. I just want to start with to say I am totally devastated, and I don't even know where to start. Monde was, particularly on my side, was very special to me. I was very close to the man. He was my inspiration. He you know, he made me laugh, he made me angry, he made me do things. You know, he built me, and you know the words, I can just keep on going, and and just go on and on. But however, I guess it's going to be difficult for me to do this, but I'll try my level best to get through it. My sincere condolences as well to the family. It's a really tough, it's a tough period. And I just want to let you know that us from in the sports industry, where we worked with Monde for many years, it's really touched us, and we're with you all the way. I joined Mega Pro Marketing in 2003. That's the first time I met Monde. At the time, we were based in, I remember, Sandhurst Office Park, Stanton. I joined as a young, just coming back from the UK, from university. came there, joined Mega Pro. It was a great team. I remember at the time we were preparing for the Cricket World Cup, and Butmonde was at the forefront of all the preparations with then the CEO, George Reutenbach. Monde appointed me as a sales and marketing executive. I do remember that, sales and marketing executive. And when I walked in his office on that first day, his first words to me were, "Young man, I am going to make you to become the top sales commercial guy this country has ever had. And I'm going to empower you." And boy, did Mondi empower me. He was a great leader. As when I sat in his office, I could already see that this is a man of integrity. He had a vision. He gave me the whole rundown on the history, the do's and don'ts, and already I was on my way. Within the first year in 2004, through Monde's guidance at Mega Pro, we did some great things. With at the time we had had the SA Rugby account, where we did some great sponsorships through Monde's guidance. And I always recall he always used to, like, we go into the meeting, he would say, "Young man, you've got the accent, you've got the English, you've got the look, but I've got the character, and I will close these deals." And it was just bang, bang, bang. We were just coasting. And then we moved on. As we were moving on in 2005, I recall Mega Pro had its greatest financial year ever through the guidance of Butmonde. And it was, he gave us great incentives. And that year, we actually, we reached a record year where he actually incentivized us, and he took the whole team to Mauritius. The whole company, can you imagine, flew to Mauritius with Butmonde to, that was his way of doing things, to say thank you to his employees. And it wasn't just the executives who went; he took everyone, from the cleaner to the driver, to the young guys who had just joined. Everybody went on this incentive. We went on a week away to Mauritius, and boy, did we have fun in Mauritius. Monde as well was very strong in commercialization of sport, especially with rights holders, etc. I mean, we had the SA Rugby account. I remember Monde as well. We had the rights for Kaiser Chiefs Football Club. At the time, which still had a 50% ownership with Prime Media. I actually met Bra Kaiser Mtawong for the first time in my life, a young boy, through Butmonde. It was a great experience, and I actually got to, run the Chiefs account through Butmonde's guidance. We also had the Springboks account, which was a great privilege to be a part of. Just doing the commercial program for the Springboks, being involved, through this guidance of Butmonde, dealing with the commercial program, going to corporate South Africa. And with Butmonde, you could never, ever go to a meeting without fitting your tie on properly. He would check you from head to toe. I recall once he actually made me go to Sandton City to buy some new shoes just before a very crucial meeting. That was him. Great character. We also did we also did a lot of stuff with Cricket South Africa, and obviously, as I said, SA Rugby, and also the provincial rugby unions, as the program director mentioned just before. We've got Bar in here for the Blue Bulls. We did a lot of commercial stuff with them. We represented the Sharks, the Stormers in Cape Town, and the Lions here in Johannesburg. I mean, Monde was everywhere. He was a man of character, and he was brave. He was not afraid to ask for the deal, and also a great negotiator. I learned a lot from him there as well. And then as growth continued, I think Butmonde realized that it was time to push some of us up the ladder, pushing us into more, getting us more involved He then started getting me more involved in, in government, public sector projects, in sports, starting to get a better understanding of how, contracts are done legally, etc. He taught me the works. He taught us, the works, and the team started growing stronger and stronger. And it became at a point where we were untouchable. And then the FIFA World Cup came up, and Mega Pro at the time was part of the South African JV to run the commercial hospitality program for the FIFA World Cup, where Butmonde gave his recommendations to FIFA and Match Hospitality to place some of us in that project. What an experience. What an experience. 2 years of working with FIFA, we learned a lot. If we needed help, Butmonde was still there to guide us. Just an inspiration. And he actually said, I remember him just before the first game at the opening game. And he said to us, guys, this is all you work for. Go and enjoy it. And we enjoyed that World Cup through his guidance. Some of us attended 22 games. It was just an incredible experience. And then as we moved along, I'm not going to say too much because I'm getting a bit emotional now. Butmonde was there for everyone. He didn't have any favorites. He didn't have any people in particular who he chooses on. He was there for everyone. I recall him assisting me myself personally many times, and many other employees in not just at Mega Pro, but in the sports fraternity who he wanted us to grow. After the World Cup, and then I moved on it's still in the same sports industry. I moved on to work at civil rights commercialization, but I still kept the relationship with Butmonde. Even until this year, my last meeting with him was in East London in January. I do recall that, end of January. I think I went down to discuss some opportunities with him. And when I met him, he was still the joyful Butmonde I knew. We met up somewhere in the Cassie in East London, and I'll actually tell you the story. When I got there, I actually found him, he had already bought a bottle waiting for me. And, we had a long, and my flight, that was around about midday. My flight was at around, I think I took a 7 o'clock flight back. And we sat there until around about 5:30. I said, Monday, I'm going to miss my flight. He goes, my boy, you're the mayor of East London. You'll never miss your flight. The man dropped me off at the airport full of joy. And his last words were actually said, young man, go well. I love you so much. And, we'll meet again during the year to finalize this project. And yeah, that was it. That was it. When the plans were to go back to meet him, that's when I got that dreadful news from his daughter that he had passed on. And yeah, I'm not going to say any much more, but I'm just saying he was a great guy. He was over by a lot of us. But one day I'll miss you so much. But there's one thing I would want the family to know and to let everybody know in the sports industry. What you taught me personally, and you taught a lot of other people. You mentored a lot of people. Some of them now are in top positions. The people who Butmonde mentored at Mega Pro. We've got some working at Vodacom, top positions. Some are top executives at SABC. Me myself, I'm doing some great things. And I want to let Butmonde know that we are going to continue that legacy for him, and we're going to groom the young ones who are coming up as well. That's all he wanted. So rest in peace, Butmonde. And I don't know, I'm just in shock. But rest in peace, and my sincere condolences to everyone in the family. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Tex. I know that it's not easy, particularly when one reflects on certain episodes of one's life where they impacted on him directly. One of the things that we are all called upon to emulate from people like Umbinga is to always find somebody to inspire. Can we imagine what a better place the Eastern Cape, what a better country South Africa would be if all of us actually inspired just one person? To get 2, 3 or more to inspire would be a bonus. And so we all have a role to inspire somebody. And I don't know if Tex was part of that trip, but as various companies were positioning themselves for the 2010 FIFA World Cup, Monde recruited me because he had this belief that during the 2010 FIFA World Cup, I probably would be part of Mega Pro in a way, and there we went to Japan, you know, as part of, and you remember Japan Korea had just hosted the World Cup, the 2002 World Cup, and there we were in Japan, taken by Monde Tabata. Needless to say, that came 2010 FIFA World Cup, I was already in Port Elizabeth with the Nelson Mandela Bay, and Upayeni will remember that, Upudimbu Kitane. I was already in PE. I had left him Nabotex, you know, to carry and fly the Mega Pro flag higher, you know. Yeah, it is the evening of the 22nd of September as we remember the life and times of Monde Tabata. Let me go to some of the people who, in a way, Umbinga impacted on, and those are the sports journalists. And Chawe, Sondela Mdagwetu, Sondela Baugas, I'm going to bring Spusiso Mchigeliso to come and do a tribute on behalf of sports journalists.
And Dabulela Putiza, I'm very honored to even be invited Uteta Apa on this virtual but auspicious occasion where we would remember Utatu Monde Tabata and I'll tell you the story why. But first of all, Nibulisa kunenonke Nibulisa kuwo wonke umuntu osibukeleyo kuma YouTube kuzo zonke indawo ke apho this live broadcast is going. Nibulisa kwifamily yakwaThabata, ndithi condolences, andithetheli sports journalists zodwa, ndithethela nefamily yami nakwamjikeliso ngabapha eNcamerha ebuilding esixekweni. OThabata ke were very good friends because of utata wam uBingathini Mjikeliso owayehlobene kakhulu nabakwaThabata. So ndifuna ukuthi condolences and siya sikhala nani. Mna utata Mawawa, hey, ndithe ndofika kule journalism ndingena chwa kwi-rugby. I became a rugby journalist at the Times Media Group, and I got in touch with Utatu Monde Tabata. I saw the name and decided to give him a call. Maybe it's coincidental, maybe it's another Monde Tabata, because you know we hadn't been in touch for a long time. I think Abandaziyo Eastern Cape ibizwa ngoYitsa. I'm sure naye wayengayazi uba ngubani oSibusiso Mjikeliso ufonayo. So I called him and I introduced myself. I said, this is uSibusiso Mjikeliso, okay, with my most formal voice, calling from the Times Media Group, and ndingxamile ndithetha ngespeed trying to get an interview and to quiz him about rugby matters. And he stopped me right in my tracks. Wathi kwedini uSibusiso Mjikeliso ngubani tatakho? And I was taken aback a little bit that hey, who's this gentleman that would now I'm calling here as a professional journalist and he's asking me bang bantatam. This is, you know, I'm trying to be as serious as I can. But I told him, I said Ngupingatin, and he said Chingwet Pingi ititata Monde Tabata with the dad and the amazwisho. You know, and and I could only laugh and humble myself, and I said, and then we hit it off from there. He took me under his wing, in much the same way as Uputex Riba has just mentioned. Rugby is a very cruel space, especially for Black professionals. And you know, in my early rugby writing days, you know, one would get leaked all these stories, and some of them weren't necessarily true. And I wasn't in a situation where I had a buffer to be able to verify any of this information. And it made me very, very vulnerable. It makes all journalists vulnerable in the early stages of their careers, to people who use them for agendas and trying to advance their own, you know, issues and agendas and push their own propaganda out there. But Tutadumonde immediately recognized that a lot of that was happening and said, Donga is abum, if you get anything, any information that you feel you want to verify, I'm not going to give you stories. I'm not going to call you to leak information. I'm not that kind of person. He was at the Executive Council of SA Rugby at the time, which is like the board of SA Rugby, the decision-making body on the executive side, very important standing. You know, those guys, they give their mandate to the CEO of SA Rugby, reports to them. And at the time of his passing, he was still an EXCO member at SA Rugby. And he would tell me, look, I will do you that huge favor, that you can call me if you feel you think you've got a scoop, so you don't go out there and write falsehoods, and so that I can at least protect, you know, your integrity and the integrity of the game as well from such forces. And it helped me a lot, especially in my early days. It was invaluable. I cannot tell you how priceless it was to be able to call Tadumonde and say, hey, Tadumonde Diva, A, B, and C, and he would say, Uiva Pilondo Leo, and I would say, yeah, Oban, I did no go. And this is why don't publish that. And I stuck to everything that he taught me about rugby. He taught me, and it was a lot. I cannot even surmise it in this short time we have to tell our stories of him and pay tribute to him. And you know, he further than that, one of the things he became to me was an auxiliary father whom at the time dilahlekelwa ngowamutata. You know, utata wam passed away in 2017, and I had to give a tribute to him, Dibhlungu and Tunagele Kakulu, and he was there, built in, he was there. He was there with his two of his children, and afterwards, a few days after, he sent me a WhatsApp. By now, we had been speaking frequently. Echawe, you know, what you said about your own father. I wish I could replay it for my kids. You know, about the value of one who has a father and appreciating their father. And I was the first of my brothers, and I always owned up to the fact that I probably never appreciated having a father in the way that I should have. You know, you take for granted in your life and involved, and you only really look at his flaws and the things he didn't do for you, or zangathengeli teki when you wanted them, or zangathengeli boots when you wanted them, you know, and those were some of the things that I said, and he really appreciated that. And in the 3 years after, he took on that mental yobangutata. He when we launched our book, Notando Manana, called Being a Black Springbok, we were at Buffalo Park in East London. There weren't that many people. It was a cold Monday night. You know, East London can get very cold, wet and windy. But Utad Mawawa was there with one of his daughters in the front seat. There were only about 50 people signing books, buying a few copies here and there. He was there, he was early, he was seated. And I just marveled at how someone of his age, someone of his standing, with so many responsibilities, just had the time, for Mundo Onjengam, and it always astounded me, and I always used to tell him, hey, no one and Umutata, adibekanga lonto katata as a prefix. Unyanzelba yotatbano okanye ibhubano okanye yawayengutata in the literal sense to me. And our last conversation was on the 13th of July. Fortunately, like with the technology, you can get some sort of record of those conversations. And I'm going to bring it back to rugby. And he was talking a lot about improving border rugby. From the ground up, I was quizzing him about what's going to happen after lockdown. Is border going to play this and that? And what's going to happen? Forget about playing, forget about everything in the top structures. Let's build border from the ground up. He used to say that he enjoyed the articles I wrote. I wrote a tribute to Sipo Metula, who passed away. He was a coach of Walter Sisulu, where I said, institutions like Walter Sisulu need to be at the forefront when it comes to building or rebuilding rugby as a border, because you need schools, you need clubs, you need universities to be involved. And without those university structures, without those resources, rugby is a whole lot poorer, especially in that region. And I just want to quickly end off by reading a message that he sent to a very good friend of mine, and Ludopo, who was a coach who he was roping in to improve that under 20 setup. And he said, I just read Sbu's article on Wusu. It's good. I could eat the paper if it was printed. Tell him I said he's making dents on the right material. And he was talking to someone else, and he was referring to me, and he was the way he was throughout, whether people are watching or whether I heard it or whether I didn't, and I really appreciated Mawawa. I can't understate that. And I'm sure everybody else or Uzateta Apa will say the same thing. I'm hurt by his passing, but I'm probably not more hurt than his family, his children, and everyone else he was close to and mentored. It would be selfish of me to say I feel it the worst, but I do feel it, and I do wish Mawawa a fond farewell. Wenze impact enkulu imoto bezipha emonti ziqenqelekile ziyothi goodbye abantu ababukeleyo, abantu who are here to pay tribute. I want to say farewell, Mawawa. There's not much more we could have asked of you in this lifetime.
Lovely, Chow. Siyabulela kakhulu ngalo magama. And there are messages that say, wow, one of your sisters Uncedisa is my best friend. So bakhona abantu already that charmed by your generous tribute, Kumawawa. What a man. But this pain cannot be wasted. So somebody is got to pick up the baton, and somebody is got to run with some of the things that Mawawa lived for. I'm going to play you a video now. I think this is, a couple of tributes that are packaged just to make sure that players also get to say something about a man who impacted them in a big way. Okay, so please watch this video. Okay, Tools, are we getting the video?
Yeah, this is obviously very hard for us. Taru Tabata was almost like a voice for us. bamnyama badlala rugby, and he was always in our corner. Ekwazi usolve ingxaki zethu, you know. Babekhe wava bakasithethe naye, and
maybe we can start it from scratch too, just to ensure it's got the audio. If you can bring up the audio and replay.
Obviously very hard for us. Taro Tabata was almost like a voice for us.
Okay, all right. Just to remind you, in case you bumped against us on YouTube wondering what this is all about, it is the virtual memorial service of one great man, Uwile Umtomku Monde Tabata. The video is ready now? Okay, let's do it.
And the few times when I did, you know, he would just pick up the phone.
Okay, I got an idea, Tools. You want to try it one more time?
For us,
I got an idea. If the audio
almost like a voice,
please bring it back later. Let me take another tribute and give you time to check it out. Okay, I'll give you time to check it out. I would love us to do justice to any great stuff. Okay, we've got the audio. We've got the audio.
Almost like a voice for us. Bamnyama badlala rugby, and he was always in our corner. Ekwazi usolve ingxaki zethu, you know. Babekhe wava bakasithethe naye, and bekwinto besokola ngayo beveska phone athi hey kodini igxarha uthini ungathethanga nje. And the few times when I did, you know, he would just pick up the phone, and you know, sooner or later into zethu, our problems would just disappear. And you know, he never wanted anything in return. Wafuna nje usiphuhlisa, and yeah, it's very hard for us. And you know, I don't know how to explain it, but he had his own way of bringing people together and solving problems in his own charismatic way. And yeah, I'm gonna miss him a lot. And yeah, Mawawa.
Yeah. Okay. And you can imagine how many other players would be feeling like that. How many other players would have loved to come on and do their tributes as well. Okay. Now we're going to zoom into sport. We're going to zoom into sport, and the few tributes we're going to be listening to now various rugby formations, particularly the code of rugby. And I've been having a long time friend of mine on standby for quite some time, the former Bulls CEO and friend of Monde Tabata, Barend van Graan. Barend, I want you to take over and do this tribute, remembering the life and times of Monde Tabata, particularly when you were at the Bulls.
Mr. Program Director, wife of late Monde Tabata, the children, the family, I was involved with the Bulls for a long time and worked with Mondi when he was the chief executive of Mega Pro from 2001 to 2006, and then from 2010 to 20, when he was an independent SA Rugby Exco member, I was still with the Bulls and the chairman of Sarrayo. I'll come back to Sarrayo, and later at this stage, the chairman of the CEO of Sarrayo. I would like to pay a tribute on behalf of Sarrayo. That's the South African Rugby Employers Organization that represents SA Rugby as an employer and all the provinces of SA Rugby. And then on behalf of my players, that represents 700 professional players in South Africa. And then on behalf of Sports Employees Unite, that represents all the non-playing staff members in South Africa, be the managements, coaches, and support teams. And then also the 60 plus sports rugby agents in South Africa. They've asked me to, on behalf of each of them, convey a short message to the family of Mr. Tabata. Mondi was the inspiring personality that mentored many a young administrator in rugby and many a young member of management in rugby and in the commercial world of sport. Was always a gentleman, even under pressure and under the most difficult circumstances. He was a gentleman. He could listen carefully to his colleagues, one of his strong points, and to his competitors. He always gave all of us the opportunity and the space to voice our opinion. He had a warmth in his eyes and a much renowned smile. Who will forget his smile and the warmth in his eyes? Mondi had one big asset, and that is he brought calmness to his colleagues. He was a professional to his core and did what was required from him on a daily basis. He always did what he thought was the best for Border when he was involved in Eastern Province and for rugby across South Africa. And the SA rugby industry suffered a loss in his passing. He was a rugby man who was passionate about an inclusive and successful future for SA rugby. And then from my players, Mr. Eugene Henning, the CEO of my players, I'll read his short message. The first time the players' organization got to work closely with Mondi was when he took over as the acting lead administrator of Border Rugby Union. What became apparent immediately was not just the efficiency and the seriousness with which he undertook his task, but also his warmth and respect towards other people. Mondi was a bridge builder. Since our first meeting, we have shared many hours working together at Eastern Province and with the players' agents on the Players' Agents Board. On every occasion that we met, our initial impression of Mondi was reconfirmed. He added so much value to the South African rugby landscape: dignity, wisdom, strategic understanding and direction, and above all, a sincere love for his fellow man. His passing leaves a gaping hole in the rugby industry, and we at my players' organization will sorely miss him. On behalf of Sport Employees Unite, Mr. Piet Heymans, the CEO, he said the following about Mondi: we will remember Mondi as a passionate rugby person, always playing the ball and not the man, bringing experience and wisdom to difficult debates and being tough but fair in his negotiations. Many members of SEU knew and at some point worked with Mondi, and everyone appreciated how he applied his mind to problems and always worked diligently to better improve SA rugby, especially in the Eastern Cape. Mondi had to step into difficult roles since serving as a member of the SA Rugby Executive Council, and he never shied away from these tough challenges. His dedication and positive contributions will be severely missed. He was always prepared to listen and willing to make a difference, says Heymans. SEU wants to extend condolences to his family during this very sad time, and despite the grief, we will have great memories of Mondi that will lessen the sorrow. The chairman of the South African Rugby Agents Association, James Adams, said the following: as the chairman of SARA, I had the privilege to serve on the SA Rugby Player Agent Board with Mondi as our chairman. Mondi always conducted himself professionally and was very fair to all parties, and his leadership was excellent. A strong leader with a big heart, and most important, a gentleman through and through. Mondi, your sheer presence and smile will be sorely missed by all in what is a tragic loss to South African rugby. I want to close the following words. Ifuna ukuti papingas mawawa. Comfort yourselves. Your loss is felt throughout the South African rugby community. Lalange tolo mpinga. Thank you, Mr. Program Director.
Thank you, Barry. That was very touching and brilliant. You did well, actually, with Iziduko Mawawa. Sikuvile xa usithi mambinga bomawawa hlalani ngoxolo. And thank you so much. A couple of messages live on YouTube. This one from Ilham Groenewald saying, my colleague, friend, confidant in rugby, and how wonderful, to just chat about sport matters for hours with Monday. Condolences to the Tabata family, friends, and colleagues. May his gentle soul rest in peace. Pumezo Xhego naye eqithisa amazwi ovelelwa nobulelwa soci. Okay. Pumezo esithi a great tree has fallen. Yongaba Makida esithi sincere condolences to the Tabata family. You are in my prayers. Unonchukumo Sobandle esithi Tabata family, sincere condolences. May the good Lord give you strength to overcome this sudden loss of a husband, father, grandfather, and a manager to the rugby family. May he rest in peace. Well, keep those messages coming. All right, we'll share your. Remember, the memorial is also your opportunity. You may not be in the studio with us, but if you're watching, we are able to pick up your message and read it live on air. By any Monday, Sondele Kuemkulu. My next speaker now, Udada Umbulelo Gidane, we collaborated quite well, Nelson Mandela Bay, and I'd love to bring him on for the Eastern Province Rugby Tribute. Kuwe Brambu.
Gosika Kulu, Ujiza Padko, Director of Ceremony. Tabata family, Ombinga, Mawawa, the community of sport, rugby in particular. I greet you all in the name of our Heavenly Father. Partly my voice heavy. It's quite very heavy. And I will take the tune from Mutex. I do not want to be emotional at all. But Masicho, the family, Yawawa, Tutuzeregan, Agu Shalungha, Unjena Guzozong, Alaningalo, Mna Buddhiza and the Tiben, no Mawawa at a distance first. Gelkasha Gukala in the pro. In the Eastern Province. I think it was very early 2013. There's Ofumana ideal Eastern Province try and strategize and shape EEP in the professional direction. Ndaphinda ndambona ubawa the MCA German of 2010. Very, very, very smart gentleman. Very even the way you would think that. I never thought that it's only now that Mawawa is 8 that Kandi, Mawawa is my age. I always said Mkulu. But I want to say to Mawawa Mkulu, you have really, really consoled me. I would say to Gasi Pila Pilelingos and in a class safer Sefalengos. Mawawa, 2015, Kukho problem ke yenza provinces in the border, Eastern Province, that are always in problems. Always in problem. Eastern Province in 2015 he came. You must see Mawawa the way he was trying to shape this province. Even at that time, I was at distance. Business people, all stakeholders, clubs, he was trying by all means to make Eastern Province to stand up and start moving in the right direction. I got involved now again very closely just this year when we were in the interim board of Southern Kings. Now we started to work together. He called me the other day just before the board meeting. He said to me, "You've investigated yakwazi. Now, funa sithethe ke before siye kule meeting yale board." You know, and I must tell you, it was a very, very challenging meeting. He even said right in the meeting, and we're in a virtual meeting, he said, I won't mention the name of this person. And then he said, "Why you allow this thing to happen in front of you? Why? You know, and I still remember that face. I mean, he even moves his spectacle the way he was so angry. Mawawa is Mr. Fixed It. He has fixed a lot of things. And he even said to me before he passed on, "Mulelo, you must liquidate this thing. Let this thing be liquidated. You know, you will see a decision. Really, Eastern Province has been liquidated. You must go and look at his profile pic. Mawawa in that profile pic is with his family, a family man, a rounded person, completely rounded. You know, it's so difficult, but I must say, Mawawa undishia with 2 projects. And I am not sure in why Mawawa was doing this. You know, but after his passing, now I realize. He said to me, "Mulelo, magesi jonge Eastern Cape Rugby, magesi yekele nto yale border at Eastern Province. We are going to be developing a document, and I've spoken to the MEC already about this document for Eastern Cape Rugby. We cannot allow lendo yenzeka kubantwana bethu. Abantwana bethu bapoachwe by other provinces in front of our eyes, and you are doing nothing. This is what is work. I want to tell you now, Mulelo, this is our life." And he repeated this thing last time twice. This is our last time. Now, Mawawa again, Uamba and the Shia with that last time. So painful and it's so ill. You know, and I want to say, you know, to Mawawa, Mbinga, in good land on the Shia, and I never thought that you were meaning this last time. It's going to be carried by me alone with it. Mandlendi Shaman bad caught before they too emotional. Kulula manmawa. Maganda manumping. The anger pay. And being asked about and others lenyanga ye heritage. Siza kumkhumbula ke ayepha Mawa. Ikhona into ekufuneka Mawa siyithiye ngaye. Akho umuntu unozathunyelwe twice into a province ye rugby. kanti thina asinakumkhumbula. Khona funeka siyithenga. Uhlekama ke Mawawa part Kolkani that please, when you name Eastern Cape Rugby, you must make sure that the name that we take forth. And you must always remember to a part of you. I thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mkulu. We can feel the weight on your shoulders. We can pick up the cracks in your voice. For deep is the cut that is there in your heart. Ndiwathandile ke lamagama olende ngawo into kokuba make sikhangela apha ephondweni kama ndino MEC ukhona apha eprogramini ndimbeka on the spot. Ndiyithandile ke le angle olende ngayo ke mkhulu yokokuba make sijonge apha ephondweni ikhona into esinokuyithiya ngoMawawa ngoba yintoni na. Siyazazi izinto nendawo uMawawa impacte kuzo kakhulu, and I like that idea kakhulu. I like that idea kakhulu. All right, okay, still within the sports tributes, ladies and gentlemen, allow me now to move to border rugby. Sometimes you do not speak of Eastern Province Rugby and lockout border rugby, and vice versa. Sometimes you do not talk about Eastern Province Rugby and leave out border. Sometimes when you speak of and yourself inadvertently having to talk about Wusu Rugby. Wow. Ungekaye umuntu uyobukela irugby yezikolo awuyazi into, the passion that is there negwijo lakudala elalisitsho kwi-matches ze-rugby. This province yethu ye-Eastern Cape iyazidla ineqhayiya nge-heritage ye-rugby. Mawawa ke uwanga lenyanga ye-heritage kule nto ke ithethwa ngumkhulu wawuba yini khona ukuze bekhona into esiyityholayo ngaye from a heritage point of view. Xa sibona ihlumelo le-heritage ye-rugby phela kwe-province and a heritage ye-rugby kangaka. Abanye bethu siyeke ukuyidlala irugby sakumka ephondweni siyokuphangela koMarhawuti ko-SABC no-Kaizer Chiefs sabe only ngelo xesha sisohlukana ne-rugby. Ndithetha ke njenge-fly half, I mean a fullback ye-Black Lion amaqumrhu ebezwelitshe xa ndithetha ngolo hlobo. Sibuhlungu kakhulu kwicala le-rugby. Andifuni ke into yokokuba ndithathe isithatha sakho rhadebe, kodwa noko kufanelekile into yokokuba lo mntu ubhexesha lenkqubo kuqondakala into yokokuba uyamazi lo mntu uyarelate ne-subject yakhe. Sikhumbula uMawawa ngale 22nd. Ngena ke rhadebe umzi wasebhoda ulindele wena akhona kamgijima. We'll then do this tribute on behalf of Border Rugby. Over to you, Mtimkhulu.
Manibulele chawe ndizibuzisele kwifamily kaThabata, the wife of Mr. Tabata, the kids zika Mr. Tabata, friends, relatives, sporting fraternity and business fraternity, and everybody watching this evening. I believe today we're celebrating the life and times shared with Mr. Tabata. We called him a border Mr. T. I think because of the way he was so professional and yet accessible to everybody. It is not easy for me to capture someone's life just on a speech, especially Mr. T. Mr. T was an honorable man, a very rare breed, one of a kind. He sincerely cared about people, no matter what the background. Mr. T. Ebekwazi uthetha nomuntu Mr. T noba ungakanani noba uyintoni na. I remember when he arrived at border, we were all scared. Say, hey, that's administrator. you know, the connotation around the administrators, but here comes a monster. But instead, Tina Porter says of Manutata, we received the father, we got a motivator, we got a mentor, and most importantly, we got a humanitarian. Ebe understand inhlungu yomuntu. Bukwazi ukuya kuye uyoncokola naye xa unengxaki, he would advise you. He was always concerned about the well-being of staff members. Noba ungubani phaya stadium bayayazi abaninzi Buffalo City Stadium bekunabasebenzi i-ground staff ebeyithanda kakhulu ehloniphe kakhulu. I-ground staff ibisuka pha ebaleni ihambe yongena kwi-office yakhe pha phezulu, but they would give them time and they listened. Everybody would enter the office. He had an open door policy when he arrived. He was a community builder and really loved youth development in general, outside of sport and just in general. Being umuntu that was always willing to assist. I remember there was a young lady that kept on coming to the stadium. That young lady was assisted by Mr. Tabata. I saw a couple of weeks ago that lady, good panel, say Africa, women's development program. Mr. Tabata pushed that lady because he said, Akona, I want you to assist that girl. So that is Mr. Tabata in a nutshell. He was always there to assist people. Today, I'm privileged and honored to speak about him because he also contributed to my life as an administrator and a young person. On his arrival at border, he made changes. And some of the changes meant that there were positional switches. He asked me, what is your position here? And I'm like, what you know, listen, I want you to be a commercial and marketing manager board because I see your energy. I do not understand the context of commercial and marketing manager because it's a new term about the border. He said, Mamela Wadin, when I am lion, I'm gonna change your life. I think relating to text now, I became a salesperson in the border because I had to generate revenue. He gave me targets to meet. And on the first year, I met the target, the Nyunka, in terms of revenue generation. Wabuya on the 10th floor, what you in? My son, I love what you are doing. The next year, one nigga target, and I achieved that target. We became closer again because I met the targets. Mr. T, during this time at border, he became a mentor. He became a father. He became a friend. He believed in me so much that he would not go 3 days without him talking to me. He would call me whenever. I would receive a midnight call at 12 o'clock. We have to save this border, and I want to assist me. He would send me the proposals that is writing on and say, I need inputs plan. Or he would want and ask for input on a lot of things. So he would always ask me to come visit his house for Mukhabul. He said, ndiyafuna uRhabule man. Ndifuna uze pha endlini sithethe sincokole ngerugby and administration in general. I think he was impacting knowledge to me in a way that I did not understand. If I did because I had to report and Mr. T and he told me stories. I think I learned a lot through Lomi Khabulo, Bendienz and I. I mean, he taught me about the black rugby history. Otatum Kweba and everything, it was that happened in the 60s. He would teach me all those things and says, Kwetin administrator, these things need to be taught to you so that each generations to come has the information. He also taught me the vision, your Steve Biko, Notatu Chwete when it comes to into sport. The transformation, Mr. T. He loved African players as much as he loved all the players, but he had a special place because the man city, I understand being a professional. In 2016, Ipoda, you must remember, it went into administration in 2014. 2016, Ipoda became a comparative union again after 2 years of him being there. During that time, we produced 11 players as at Zadala Kunganabale Super Rugby. He was very happy with this. And some of the players now, Kumaka Zole, Nolukanyo even Johannes Jonker, some just to mention a few, these players are household names today. Mr. Tabata contributed to those players. He enjoyed being challenged. I always asked him a tricky question regarding administration. And he would say, Kwetin, I can't tell you everything. I think somehow he was my stalker because every time I wrote something controversial or otherwise commenting Kundo Sport, he would give me a call and says, Kwetin, I saw what you wrote. Information. That was him. So I would spend an hour to 2 hours on the phone. But we would talk non-stop with regards to the at times when he was excited. I think I remember a moment when he had a meeting with the MEC, sporting leaders, Zalapi Eastern Cape, Good Department of Sport. We went to make a presentation. He came back immediately after that presentation.
Andazi noma ke Rhandebe ufrize kwelicala lam kuphelana. But I noticed that
ngathi kuthi sonke bhutis.
Ngathi ufrize kuthi sonke. Okay. All right. Rhandebe ndinayo nento esolayo ndoba ufrize selele ndisha. Ndinayo nento erhanayo ba ufrize selele ndisha. Rhandebe ndakubona ngathi ubuyile ngoku. Masubnike kumzuzu.
The child.
Yeah.
Mr. T, he played a big role in all of us. I think there's one important thing that we did last time. Apo, he was fighting for the use of the stadiums as a board. I call him, Mr. T, we've got a problem. We also cannot get Ibala for Ivasti Shield. I then called him and he said, hey, Aban Bakuti Matod. And unphoned later on the day, around 12 again, Ati Akon, we must wake up, man, Sasa, Siovala, Pai City Hall, office may to the home. Chan, Mr. T, Ati Zabonisa, Vuka when Sasa, Siam, Sepa, Savuka Nyan Sasa. We went to the office here, Mayor, Sefuni Bala for the Wusu. It was 2 weeks before Badali Forte, ne Wusu. We went there, Safike office in Goto Mayor on the economic conference, the ICC. We then went to ICC. The ICC is Sifike Salinda from 8:30 up until 11 o'clock. Ulinda go to from Elo Claesha. Yabaphuma besithi that time landwa ngela xesha lithi baphuma imeya sababamba sancokola nabo imeya sapresenta kwinto yethu. In a nutshell, after a presentation yethu, a week after, we also managed to get the facility to play their first varsity game, which was televised. Umawawa wati kwedini, sometimes we have to do unconventional things to get things done. So Mawawa played a big role in assisting Rugby at large. And we will celebrate his life and make sure that leaders ziyabuya to come and assist Rugby. We need people babenomqolo, because Mawawa ebengumuntu onomqolo, ebengumuntu onenyani, and yet ebekwazi umamela omnye umuntu, ebekwazi ekwenza into bana abantu bangalwi. So to the Tabata family, siyanazi nilahlekelwe, nathi silahlekelwe. To me, as I said before, he was like a father, because he put me under his wing just like the other guys and made sure that I learned the traits of being a professional. We thank you for his life, and siyayazi that there will not be any other Mawawa, there will not be any other Tabata. We have to carry the baton. Undikhabulisile ke mna kanti ndiyabulela for ubomi bakhe. Enkosi.
Yeah, Khadebe siyabulela kakhulu. Thank you so much. Ziyangena nezinye i-messages apha ku YouTube. Ukhaka Madwanye said, my deepest condolences to Sispula and the entire family. Sinokanto thandile ulume ngeyona ndlela Khadebe. Keep strong. Mandy Vena, Spali, you left a huge void in our lives, and Circles will miss you and miss your insightful contributions on issues in general, your advices and willingness to help under any circumstances. Rest in peace, Mbinga. Milo Bovungana in a city, only man who got away with saying Kwetin in an affectionate way. Rest in peace. Mkhulu kuchoge u andile bovungana and unyanisile ke nyani ukhadebe unyanisile u andile bovungana umkhulu wa ubene ndlela charming yokuthi Kwedini ithanda lento kaKwedini zakuthatha nto kuseJapan wena pha eBuffalo uzaba ngokuqala ukuya eJapan sichapha kum lento kaKwedini ibe into kuye man emnandi omnye umuntu xa esithi Kwedini kungalula ukuba offended, not kuMawawa. Umawawa ubenendlela yokuyiromansa lento kaKwedini xa eyisebenzisa uqonda hey nawe you look forward to being Kwedini. Xa engekathi Kwedini qoma nemana kakathethi kahle man uMawawa man khona into ishodayo utheni umoshiwe namhlanje uqumbile namhlanje kutheni engalahlelela Kwedini wakhe. Friends, remembering the life and times of Monitor. But look on Lazi, condolences to the Tabata family, kids, your wife, and those you touched. We will remember your humility and your contribution to the country. Then Lazi and Africa family will remember you, Jack. Abantu xa bekuthanda ke bakhona nendlela bakubiza ngazo. Abantu abaneziteketiso ngabantu isign le ukuba abantu bakuthandile. Yokuthi abantu bayakwamkela when they throw izteketiso at you. Lennox Chwete to the lekanilo sapolo Mpinga no Ndlovu. Mpinga ulufizile umphatho makaphumle ngoxolo. Let me go to SA Rugby now. From Eastern Province Rugby to Border Rugby. And now, let's do it nationally. I want to go to SA Rugby now. Ndicele umhlobo wami kwelicala le-gospel nevangeli umfundisi Mayedwa Khaya Mayedwa nakwelicala le-gospel music. Okay, very talented man naye in his own rights. Indoda ethi isebenzela uThixo ngapha ibe ilungisa imicimbi yerugby kwelicala. SA Rugby, Khaya Mayedwa mkhulu ngena.
Awe siyabulela.
Yeah.
Program director, members of the Tabata family, friends and relatives, and the leaders of the sporting fraternity, and everyone watching on this platform, please allow me to greet you this evening. The South African Rugby Union was shocked and saddened to hear of the passing Kabut Monde, who was an independent member of ISARU Executive Committee since 2010. It is a distressing episode, particularly to those who had the rare opportunity of working along this human Titanic and a remarkable revolutionary born in struggle, immersed in raging waters of revolution, and died in the cauldron of pandemic and economic battle. In Monde Tabata, South Africa has produced one of the finest strategic thinkers, a prolific business leader. He's a strategist of a different pedigree. Apart from his impressive academic credentials, Obudmonde has consistently displayed an acute and unique leadership qualities. Death has robbed us of men who was not diffident to articulate a well-substantiated opinion. Devoid of any pomposity, he still goes on about his daily rigors with the same passion for creative and appealing leadership ideas and an unwavering passion to get it right the first time. He always responded to the call whenever there were financial distress in the Eastern Province as well as the border Rugby Union. I had an opportunity to work very close with him when I joined AC Rugby 12 years ago as the head of commercial department. And he was on my side and a sounding board, a mentor, as well as an advisor on commercial matters. And I want to say that this Kwedini thing, I also have been a recipient of that. It was quite strange because I was called Gamagama Matatu. You called me Kaiser. If not Kaiser, I will say then Mfundisi. And then at times Kwedini. Xa uyidibanisa ke Kwedini Mfundisi ubona ukuthi ayihlangani kahle but bendiyo iKwedini yakhe nam many times. And I agree with you. I worked with him now Legends. He was a caring man. Whenever kukho legend ehambileyo, and most of them bahambe sekunzima kakhulu, umonde will make sure that kuphuma imali to assist those people with funerals zabo, and ebefaka pressure kum andinike banking account, andinike everything. Please make sure that there's something to assist kula family. Therefore, kwicala le Legends zonke ziyakhana ngoku they want to come here because umonde ebebahoye kakhulu abantu abanjalo. Ndiye ndasuka kwi-commercial department ndayosebenza kwi-government relations and stakeholders. Nalapho Obudmonde was there. And then I remember MEC isengu Penny Majodina. Udla ukuthi no yeka la mntana ngizawuthetha naye, ndiyamazi la mntana ngizawuthetha naye, and then things will be done. It is not zokwenzeka Obudmonde. And even no MEC lo khona uyayazi nevele nje athethe naye and kwenzeke, and he was highly respected. And in last encounter yam naye Obudmonde, we spoke about my studies and ndibuye ndiyafunda kwakhona. Wangihlasela kakubi ukuthi into oyifundelayo what you have is enough. Uthende ungadevelop skill esithile or more business, into yokufunda yokwenza niza kunceda entweni. And my response was to him, listen, black people for a very long time have been consumers of knowledge. And I would love to be a producer of knowledge. And for the very first time, one thing about him, he was a family man. Whenever nthetha ngaye akakwazi ungathethi ngabantwana bakhe. All the time umuntu othandayo abantwana and ingumzekelo omhle lowo. And then apha ekugqibeleni in all our events as a Rugby, uhamba ke nonkosikazi wakhe, sonke we got introduced to unkosikazi wakhe. Bana uthando ke lunamandla lumenza umuntu athambe Sadibana noma wasengumuntu ohleli uzunqumile akhonto ingakho ayithethayo kanti indoda enkulu isemathandweni ivakamandi ithuthuzelekile ivakamandi ndiyambuya kakhulu uThixo because nalapho wamzisa unkosikazi wakhe xa nanzulu encokweni wathi hayi ke andikwazi uncokola umama wekhaya. Well, I want to say in closing with the family, executive, I mean, we never had the ex-com member, it's because of his contribution. And ebengoyike ebengafuna indawo ezishayinayo, ebengafuna indawo efuna le ndawo zinengxaki and akwazi ukwenza umahluko kwindawo afike kuzo. I want to say that death will die one day. And it might have robbed us, Obudmonde, but his memories as Tatwa and his legacy will live on. If you go to a Pumlango Polo, Mawawa, Sebenzile, and goes.
Goskakul, Goskakul, Fundiswam, Tabulela Gakul, who take our city, death will die one day in the Kondoba, Mslambi uza unyuka, Mslambu za unyuka, ka unyuka ke prof ke wena ke sube uphangele, khona ukuze kuzosinda imiphefumulo. No Habatlana abafana nathi bazosondela emnqamlezweni nakwimfefe nobabalo lwenkosi. Enkosi kakhulu mfundisi. Ndiyazi ke leka Mawawa yokuthi kwedini mfundisi in one sentence. Hayi. Sinayo ke MEC bawuki wami into ebi common no Mawawa recently. Leyo kokuba sibe nabantwana esimane siyoba drop primary Sterling. Siphinde siyobalanda aftercare ukuhle intombi yakhe ndawonye nolusenathi my daughter. Manu dibana noma wawe aftercare achichaw so ithathile gang ndibe ngiqonda ba kodwa nokumelwa nokuhlukene nokulandana negang encinci aftercare kodwa ke ngenxa ye second chances zikaThixo sibe noma wawa silanda igenge aftercare. Phambi koba ndiye ku MEC bethuna nazi messages ndileka nobhaxa esithi rest in eternal peace Mawawa. The wound is deep. Condolences to the Tabata family ndileka and okuhle phakwa nobhaxa. Linda Matoti City, RIP, Dada, rest in peace. Miss G City, rest in peace, my brother, and heartfelt condolences. And Hidam Bambeni City, hey, Galalwa, Kiemkiwa, Kefiwa Matota, Ndodanganye, my lungis indaba yayo no Jesu. La chorus. Etithi lungisa indaba yakho no Jesu khona manje lulungisa indaba yakho no Jesu. Lo chorus ke iculwa ngoba ngenye ixesha xa kunqonqoza ukufa kuyaqubula ukufa ngamanye amaxesha. Yelo nto umuntu kufuneka ehlale elungisa indaba yakhe no Jesu. The Department of Sports, Recreation, Arts and Culture, which is affectionately known as DISREC. That department knows intongas kamawawa. Yolonto kwengeli xesha ndiza kusondeza uMEC umamufezeka Nkomonye ibe nguye uzawuthethela urhulumente wethu to offer words of comfort and condolences to the family. Pauki, Ngena MEC.
Thank you very much, Bauki, for the opportunity. Good afternoon to the Tabata family, Mawawa, nazo zonke izalamane zakhe uBudmonde Tabata, particularly inkosikazi yakhe. Siyafuna ukudlulisa amazwi uqala ukubulisa singurhulumente wase-Eastern Cape. Sibulisa nakubo bonke abantu who have graced this august occasion yokukhumbula ubomi bukaBudmonde Tabata. Program Director, I firstly must indicate that on behalf of the Eastern Cape Provincial Government, we would like to send our heartfelt condolences to ifamily kaButmonde, Ayonke, and sifuna ukugqithisa namazovelwano kuwo wonke umuntu ozibandakanya nesport kweli laseMpuma Koloni naseMzantsi Afrika, ingakumbi abantu berugby. I probably am one person who has not had a very long time to interact with uButmonde, and most probably a lot of people are wondering why I am constantly referring to him as Butmonde instead of Mr. Tabata. I am certain that if I were a boy, Butmonde would have called me Gwetin. And I was really hoping that Baugi, I'll be very strong tonight, because when I heard the news of passing on of Butmonde, President Wesaru, Mr. Alexander, I could not believe it. And my first reaction was denial, until I was called by Mr. Makubalo confirming the passing on of Butmonde. I know I speak on behalf of government, but in the South Africa, in Ndivumele, ndithethe ngoButmonde, who was Butmonde to me. When I was appointed the MEC in June last year, because I got sworn in right at the end of May, I met Mr. Tabata 3 weeks into the office. And when I got appointed, I had served in the Portfolio Committee for Sport and did not understand some of the things. I was a rugby player in my varsity days. I played for the Damsels, which was at the time the Sharks women's provincial rugby team. I understood rugby, but I did not know the administration of rugby. And having been at the legislature did not give me so much exposure to the administration of rugby and potentially what the frustrations were when you are to administer the sporting code itself. So I met Butmonde 3 weeks into the office. And at the time, which is last year, at the time, he was already the executive council member of South African Rugby Union. So I got to really understand what the problems were and still are, particularly in the province of the Eastern Cape. Since that day, we developed a young sister-brother relationship, and that is why to date, I refer to him as Butmonde. When I got the news of his passing on, and I did not prepare a speech because I want to be myself, and this is the only way I am going to say goodbye to him. When I got the news that he has passed on, the first message I sent to Mr. Mark Alexander was to ask him, who does Butmonde leave me with? Because in that very first meeting, he took out his laptop and he took me through what the Eastern Cape stands for in terms of rugby in South Africa and in the world. How we have, as the Eastern Cape, contributed to ensuring that we not only provide Springboks or Springbok players towards transformation of rugby in South Africa in general, but we produce top-notch rugby players. Some of these players would not have been from your traditional rugby schools. They would have been from Ezlalin. So he took me through what we have done as the province of the Eastern Cape. And I sense he instilled in me a sense of feistiness, because since then, when I engaged with anyone who is leading in SARU, who is leading in the rugby circles, be it in the media, be it even when I talk in the MINMEC, since then I talked with confidence because I knew I came from the home of the legends. And there is only one person who instills that confidence in me, Kuputmonde Thabata. He taught me how to understand and link the legends, your first Black Springboks, and majority of those are coming from the Eastern Cape. I got to understand that he was a direct link from the legends and the young ones that are still in the field of play. I now know that he was given a responsibility. In fact, I knew from last year that he was given a responsibility to turn things around in border rugby. And those who know rugby and those who are from the province of the Eastern Cape would understand that border rugby services 6 districts out of the 8 districts we have in the Eastern Cape. So if you're talking of rugby development in the entire country, the top crop or the talent, the pool talent you will get in border rugby. So during his time, he truly was Mr. Fix-It because of his acuteness in terms of business. The business model in turning around border rugby, it could not have been done without him being central in ensuring that border rugby is turned around. Obviously, there's still challenges with respect to border rugby, but because Budmonde was no longer the administrator, it did not mean he left border rugby to fend on its own. He had ensured that my predecessor, MEC Bulelwa Tunyiswa, injected some funds in assisting border rugby to at least get its revenue back or at least settle its debts. He ensured that in all the meetings I had with the Buffalo City municipality leadership with respect to the sporting facilities or the field that border rugby needed to practice in, he was there. He always gave me advice. And I am very much grateful because the speakers before me indicated that he did not only father his kids. Uskara Ntubeni in the video indicated that whenever they had problems, they would run to him. He truly fathered all of us. And I felt that he was no longer a bigger brother to me, but a father, and made me understand what rugby in the province of the Eastern Cape stood for. Fast forward, he made sure that I attended all the meetings. He would set up a meeting. I would go to the SARU offices. He would make sure that I'm right in terms of knowing everything that has got to do with the rugby. And today, if you see me speaking eloquently on anything that has to do with rugby transformation, anyone must know that zonke ezi zinto ndizithethayo are things that were planted in me by uBudmonde Thabata. Ngoku ndizodibana naye just towards the beginning of this year. Sidibana ngento ye-Southern Kings. Southern Kings njengoba bezine problems zemali and noku in the process towards liquidation yazo. I was very glad when he was appointed as one of the interim board members because I knew ukuba he was going to help us a great deal in turning around Southern Kings. I shared a vision with him, the vision that I had, that I no longer want to see border rugby and EP Rugby Union as standalone rugby unions, because if you combine these unions and have one Eastern Cape Rugby Union, that would then filter down to your varsity rugby, filter down to your schools rugby, and potentially have training facilities like your academies where you would know that the talent that you have in the province of the Eastern Cape, you continuously provide a crop that is going to transform rugby in South Africa. He embraced and put a soul into that vision. he was part of those that generated a business model that when we resuscitate Southern Kings into one rugby union into one franchise of the Eastern Cape, we develop a franchise that incorporates border rugby together with EP Rugby Union so that we have one viable franchise in the province. So I really am, I don't want to say I am poorer because this is not about me. The entire Eastern Cape is poorer without Bootmonde Tabata. He truly is one of, and I don't want to say was, because I still to date can't speak of Bootmonde in the past tense. He is truly one of the finest sport administrators. He was not fearful to voice his concerns. If he knew that feel not welcomed, he would voice that out in the open, and everybody knew, with the utmost respect, Bootmonde will tell you so I think ukuba kufuneka sithathe apho ashiye khona, the only legacy we truly can give to Bootmonde Tabata is to ensure that we produce one franchise in the Eastern Cape, a viable Eastern Cape rugby franchise that is going to ensure that we continuously generate Springboks in South Africa, and particularly Black Springboks in South Africa. So ndifuna ukuthi ke on behalf of the Eastern Cape government and on behalf of all the sport-loving people of this province, wanga umoya kaMawawa ungalala ngoxolo. Siyanicela bompinga nikwamkela ukunduluka kwakhe. Siya-understanda ubunzulu belinxeba lokushiwa nguye. Kodwa simthembile uThixo ukuba akathathi into angashiyi into. In him, we truly had a legend. And I commit into bana lento ebeyilwela esaphila. Ndibambisene nabantu bashiyekileyo in the rugby circles. Sizoqinisekisa into bana there is one franchise in the Eastern Cape and it is viable, and we will ensure that nokuba umntana usuka ezilalini ezidip kanjani, he has not or she has not been exposed to the finest schools. Ukuba unetalente lo mntana lo uzodlalela Springbok and go and represent this country nakwi-World Cup elandelayo. Sifuna ukuthi ke kwifamily yakhe wanguThixo anganinika amandla ngeli xesha. Siyamazi uThixo uzawuba nani, and singurhulumente wase-Eastern Cape, we will do all in our best to ensure that with the limited resources we have, i-rugby, particularly in this province, iyaqhubekeka nokhulu. Enkosi kakhulu.
Thank you so much, MEC. Thank you for such a moving and emotional tribute. The honesty on your eyes and the genuineness in your voice. We picked all of that. And your tribute also is loaded with challenges for us, so that the issue with the province, even a franchise, a powerful, that is well resourced. Umawawa iliphupha lakhe sililandele elophupha. Those of us who remain behind. Khona ke nenye challenge ke bawuki bishiwe apha into bayibekhona into esakuyithiya ngaye uMawawa. Inkokheli zami ke ndiyafuna ukuyaleza ke lo challenge, all the leaders that are here kusuka ku-MEC uyotsho ku-SA Rugby bele uyotsho Ncibane uyotsho naku-border rugby njalo njalo zonke izi-structures zethu khona into etshoyo nakurhulumente ke u-MEC alirepresentileyo kule memorial namhlanje. We're going to go to a video and just get another tribute in video before we go to the family tributes. All right, let's see the video.
Molweni, Lukhanyo Amlona, no Makazole PMP. I want to send condolences to to family ka Mr. Monde Tabata, Aluhlanga Lungahlanga. Mr. Monde will be missed, and as Utata, Guti, Gusport, and as a mentor. I think Mr. T, we all know how much he time Seven's work and what he has done for Ulucha, Belupan's work. As Davas is really sad, and I hope family through this tough stage is Oklena, Yumelele, Mr. T, Ebengumjo Bemkulu, Kutisonga. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah. A message like Suka right inside the camps, the Springboks. Abadlali at all levels of the game. Bonzagele. It's a WhatsApp group here former players, the Black Lion as well. Amadodo koko ivekile ethetha ngalo mcimbi kaMawawa. All levels of the game. Abadlali bonzakele. Just a few messages before siya kwi tributes zekhaya ndimbonileke nomakhwalo into kokuba celebrate naye phaya uShumi. Le message ivela ku sonke fethu lala ngoxolo umpolo kweqoshe ntomntwana mzamo mhle uzamile uzusibulisele. Andiswamnxe, condolences to the Tabata family. Nxolisike party, rest in peace. Senzwa mbala kweqoshe ntomntwana Sineka. Nyanisile Jack Monde, a man of integrity and focused determination since our student political activism at Rhodes University 39 years ago. His departure is a painful loss to all of us. Rest in peace, Mzala, Nyanisile Jack. Bandisemaku City, condolences to the Tabata family. Thank you, Dada, for the wisdom, guidance, and mentorship. I will forever be grateful our paths cross each other. Mr. Lavena, rest in peace. Senzwa being, we will miss you. Kennedy Memani City, rest in peace, Mawawa. May the family find strength to deal with this sad loss of Monde. Si Kalanani. Ondagele Sombondo, our deepest condolences to the Tabata family. Rest in peace, Mawawa. Sifunde. Just to share this one on a lighter note, City Umonde, upon hearing of Justice Selby Bagwa's Glen name, Gutistuko, Siga Justice Selby Bagwa, Ubanina, Ubongweni, what it Kuzu Mawa, Golangu Molwake, Uklega, but hey, Budi. Esisituko sakho hey mani ngase sencili azothi rest in peace Mawawa. The 22nd of September, the day when we remember the life and times of Monde Tabata Umbinga uMawawa. Makholo mansondele kuweke khona sizova into kokuba Mamzongwa yakho i-tribute ihamba kanjani. Nasingena kwi-category ke ngoku ye-family and friends bethu naseyikekela nexesha seyi-1:45 mhlawumbi kuba ngaba besinothatha 5 minutes each sakulifikelela ixesha i-target yethu ngokwexesha. Shumi Dantile, ngena ke Makhwalo.
Hello, Chawe. Bulisa kwecala. Sebusa kwaba Tabata. Yes, I've got a huge lump. How do I talk about my friend in the past? I don't know how. And I'm praying to God. I don't want to cry. I want to honor my friend. On the 17th of September 2020, because I lost my best friend. I lost my confidante. I lost my protector. When his kids approached me earlier this year, asking me to speak at his 60th birthday, I'd never in a million years imagined that I'll be speaking in his memorial service. Guys, I'll try. I met Umonde in 1985 at Pagamisa, KwaZulu quiz. No Budambile. It was love at first sight. And we have never looked back. I'm still very shocked and speechless about his passing. It feels like a bad dream to lose someone like him. It's just so unbelievable. As if I'm going to be told that it's all been a bad dream. I can wake up now. His death has left a huge void in my life. I remember when I was going through challenges, Umonde was by my side, checking me daily and assuring that everything is going to be okay. Yeah. Umonde, I said he was my best friend. I remember he was invited to a wedding. And he asked me, Chomi, I just got an invite that I must attend this wedding. The teen. Did Chomi Chom Gabani? And the Chomi Yako. That's a response. At I Chomandi, Kawafuni Anti, didn't tell Funi. I asked, which Chom Gabana? He said, I'm your friend. That Unai answered. We both celebrated our kids' success in the best way we knew how. Monde loved his kids so dearly. I just can't believe that I will never hear Monde calling me, hey, Shumido. He used to call me like that, Shumido. I remember the other night, we were at his place with Kamela, my ex-husband, Ulungai, Williams, and Dumila Matez, watching boxing until 8 a.m. XN. And I asked him, show me, what am I going to say to the kids for coming home in the early hours of the morning? Monde advised, show me, and that's what I said to my kids, and my kids bought that. He was a protector of Monde. I remember this at Cape Town, and I called him. I was with his friend. And Monde was just so uncomfortable. I said, they don't find out time for when. And time to for when. Please show me the fellow and fun nix. I don't want anything. Early morning, I think 5 Monde checked on me. Show me, are you fine? And I told him, no, Chum, I'm fine. Saddened about Monde's passing. I'm going to miss him. A lot of things, but I can't because there's not enough time to talk about Umonde. I can talk the whole day about Umonde. He's been good to my kids, protecting my kids, and like a father to my kids, checking their successes. If there's something about call them and motivating them. Yeah. Monde, I'm sorry, I'm really sorry. I'm really sorry. The Tabata family, I'm really sorry. I don't have enough words to comfort you because I'm shattered. I'm shattered. Monde has left a huge void. But it's going to be okay. It's going to be well. It's going to be okay, Mawawa. It's going to be okay. Pumle mpinga. Pumle Mawawa. Till we meet again. I love you so much. As we always, after our chats, we'll always say, I love you, Chomam, and I'll tell them I love you. I love you until the end. Thank you so much, Chawa. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, Makwala. Okay, see, Ngosimutu. I think without further ado, when things get that emotional, makendikangele omnye kubantwana bomgquba inzalelwane kumakhaya omzabalazo. Tangana yizakhila mahlome ka Chwete to do this tribute. Over to you.
Thank you, Pamko, and thank you for the dignified manner that you've carried this program in a very difficult and saddened situation that we find ourselves in. I'd like to thank the family for allowing me the opportunity to speak to somebody I care deeply about and somebody who shaped the man that I am today at a very material level, even in terms of helping me get my first job. When I got a call from Nozugu about the passing of Uncle Monde, I couldn't speak. I was just saddened by it. And what struck me about it is that Unozugu was calling me because she knew the relationship that I had with her father. And she was calling me to comfort me, even though she had just lost her father. And that reminded me of Monde. He always sought to put other people before himself. And I'm happy that the family has those traits. And I have no doubts that they will continue his legacy. I think just quickly, I want to explain the relationship that I have with Monde and the relationship between the Tabatas and the Chwetes, which is a very long-standing relationship. My father and Tatu Tumisani were quite close. Monde was a bit younger than them. But after my father died, even though I didn't see Monde as a peer or the same age group as my father, he was one of the strongest people to emerge and take me on as his son. I've been listening to everybody speak here today, and I must say, I'm quite jealous because I was under the impression that I was the only one who had this special relationship of being his son. But I've come to realize that that's the kind of great person he was. He could create a special relationship with you that made you feel as though you were the only person that had that type of relationship. And that's a beautiful attribute to have, to be able to speak to somebody, make them feel special, and spread yourself to so many people and guide them towards bettering themselves like he did for me. I remember him giving me my first job at Mega View, which was a subsidiary of Mega Pro. One Dibanisa no Clive Exton. And he had this way of instilling a quiet confidence in you that made you not want to fail him. I remember I was speaking to somebody at Mega Pro and they were saying to me, look, you're going to work very hard because you're not going to want to fail this man. And that's exactly what I did. I had a very great working relationship with the people he put me in touch in, partly because I didn't want to fail him, somebody who had now become my second father after my father passed. Even when I wanted to venture out in business, I came to him first and we created our first company together. He treated me as, even though I was far younger than him, he treated me as though I was a business partner and equal to him, and he instilled in me a great confidence. This is a great man who I can never give enough words to give the value that he had in my life and a lot of people's lives. He is a public servant through and through without a personal number. He's not a person who cared about title. He was not a person who cared about having an income from government. He was a person who believed in the idea of public service, serving the public and bettering the condition of South Africans and in particular Black people. He had that spirit of public service that he couldn't remove from himself. Even when most of us who've worked for government get frustrated, and I'm sure the MEC and others, including yourself, Patko, know this very well. You can get disillusioned and tired when you're working in government and get tired with the processes and how slow things take. And even though I know he was frustrated in many regards, but he still believed in the idea of public service, and he still committed himself wholeheartedly to the idea of developing the Eastern Cape. He was also quite tough. It was quite tough on me. I remember I wrote an article around the World Cup about whether or not the Springboks win is going to change the way South Africa is. I made the argument that the responsibility to change South Africa can't fall on the Springboks alone. It's a shared responsibility of all South Africans. And therefore I said, it's not the Springboks' job alone to change South Africa. We all have a shared responsibility. I remember getting a call from him and he said, and he began to chastise me. So I was trying to avoid him for a very long time because I was trying to avoid this tongue lashing I was going to get from him. Unfortunately, COVID happened and we kept promising to see each other and we didn't get that opportunity to see each other. And I'm quite saddened by that. I want to say to the family that everything he was to me, I will try to be to his children. I will open myself, make myself as available as I can to them. And if there ever is something that I can assist with, they should never hesitate in calling me. I am who I am as a result of his interventions, and I'm forever grateful to him. Thank you, Papa.
Well, thanks, Mahlome. Mahlome Slumela. The languages is all good morning, no tatak. Nyanzeleka into bagqithe kancinci nje pha angahlali. And okay, just the last few tributes, brilliant. Thanks, Mahlome. I'm going to bring, I think, Musisi Olivena, who's next, and Kanye Usisi Zodwa, Bale Programming Zodwa Vena. Okay, and I need to take her tribute at the moment. Okay, Paya is cleaning it. Bale Yoliswa Vena. The right, Ma'am Vena?
Right,
that's right.
right.
Yeah, Yoliswa Vena. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Let me hand over to you. So now usinike eyakho tribute. Kakhulu what you will remember most ngaye uMawawa. Is gripped pants as fun from person to person. And that's what happens when you live your life the best way that people will remember. Over to you, Cecilia.
Thank you, Pekrom and Bulise, to the Tabata and Gula family, friends, and colleagues, Gamonde. First of all, I want to thank God for giving Umonde such a big heart of accommodating us all. Because Umonde had friends from Cape to Cairo, but everybody was special to Umonde in his own way. And also I want to thank Ifemeli Gamonde for allowing Umonde to be who he was. Kuba, they shared the space with us. Umonde singamkhumbula ngezi zinto. He was caring, loving, a unifier, a straight talker. And Umonde invested a lot ebantwini. Umonde xa sithetha ngaye as a unifier and a loving person, ndine example A1. Umonde was fun-loving. Umonde, whenever he wanted to be with his people, his friends. And he wanted to be around nabantu abathandayo. Umonde will organize his spring parties for September, where we'll prepare for reference of the 80s. He was the organizer and had good organization skills and organizing skills. Umonde would sit down and plan. The friends of the 80s is dibanisa zonke friends kaMonde ebezithanda. Kuba uMonde had friends from Ekhayidog, Zwelitsha, Gauteng, Monti, wherever. When we do these friends of the 80s, we'll plan for 3 days. On Friday, kuzawufika friends from all over the place. Sihlale, sincokole sithini. On Saturday, we'll have a special day where we'll remember if friends say to the fallen friends as Asriayo. Monday in 2010, where's a theme? 80. Friends to us they were, friends to us they are remembered. With us they went to school, with us they went to work, with us they enjoyed life and its ups and downs. We shall remember them not for what they gave us, not from what they took from us. We shall remember them from who they were and what meaning they brought to our lives. So on this Saturday, when we remember these fallen heroes, is the Bayimini Emandi, where we'll sit, eat, dance. Umonde could dance, so and that killing smile of his. And we used to exercise it dance. Umonde uzabe organize his sponsors. We'd have caps, ibotile, and to keep us going, because of good quiz bottles, we'll have water so that singabi got dehydrated, and we dance the whole day. Sundays, we'll took short left, ibengati, sise Mauritius, where we'll dress in white. Sibengati sise boating ka R. Kelly. Umonde will be that R. Kelly. Umonde ke ebengumuntu ongafihli makhuba kusetyenzwa, was a straight talker. And umuntu oyithandayo fashion, umuntu omthandayo umuntu onxiba kakuhle, umuntu omthandayo umuntu obehavior. And benisithi you will whisper since uthena umonde yena will say it loud. Ayithethe into engafanelanga yiyo. He was such a caring person, umonde. Umonde checked on us, on zizi friends sisonke. If with families zethu, abantwana bethu, check progress yabo. And you'll never miss occasion, ye friends, umonde. Celebrations, funerals, graduations, yonke into. And especially lately, during this period of COVID-19, Monde always cautioned us and reminded us that we are old. So let us take care of ourselves. And he also suggested that after all this, we can have and get together in memory of all our fallen friends. And as friends, Umonde was a lighthouse to us. And we can say to him, you radiated like a blazing fire. You were courage and wisdom. You truly inspired. You attracted like a magnet. You sparkled and shine like a diamond ring. You lit up a room when you walked in. If someone felt so sad, you could make them grin. You were our friend, a soul of our soul, a place for our life. Your love, our home. Know this, Mawawa. Sun or water, here or away, you will always be our lighthouse. You may leave now, but you will always stay. Amba kakuhle Mawawa. Izihlobo zakho esesalandulele elizokulindile. Zakuthi chu ngesandla, sikuseko ghost nabanye bangaphambili. And bakuse uThixo wakho ozakwamkela ngalamazwi endiwacaphula kuMateyu 25:23. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. You have been faithful over a few things. I will make you a ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of the Lord. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sisioli. Aboma Jaivana. Bela xesha lasephakamisa kwakhwezi noSenzol kuhlelwe phana uMpandlana, the late Dambile Thuswa, Simancinci ke thina ke sizezi DJs ase-radio Sky, the station that blows your blues away, ezazine Pam, kukho amaHrotman ayene Pam, ne-Afro Osenzol, no-Kwezi, no-Monde Tabata, ingamaHrotman atyhuthi abukwayo zindwendwe. Ngoba ibalulekile nalanto yobukwa zindwendwe, ingamaHrotman abukwayo zindwendwe. Lama Hrotman. Well, i-message esanda kufika evela ku former MEC pha kwaSport umama uThunyiswa esithi fare thee well son of the soil. Esithi ke uyayiqonda into yokuba sithethile urhulumente nonayo as a friend, deep friend kaBhutmonde, esithi Mawawa, fare thee well son of the soil. Okay. Sizakhangela ke ngoku phakathi endlini ke sitsale umafungwashe kaMawawa unomfundo Metala Methula ya akabhalwanga kakuhle apha unomfundo Methula Mampinga le tender yeyakho njengomafungwashe abantu kufungwa bona ekhaya, and we'd love to give it to you to be able to share with us your great memories about this great man. Over to you. Absolutely.
And I'm grateful to everyone who has joined tonight. I'd like to start by a word from the Bible. From James 1, verse 17. Every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not like shifting shadows. I believe these are the words. These words are true to what Udada was. Dada was consistent. All of these things that you have shared, all of the experiences that everyone has shared are not foreign to us. They're not foreign to any of us because we know and we lived the same. In terms of our professional, in terms of the professional people who've met him in their professional lives, you all spoke about how he inspired, how he freely gave of his time, of his love, how he developed, mentored, coached you. You spoke about how he pushed you to be successful. You spoke about how he supported you. These are the things and gifts that he has given to us as well, myself and my siblings, as well as all of the cousins. In that professional sense, this is what is happening now. What should I do? He was a father. And as everyone has mentioned, not only to us, he was a father to a lot of people. He gave us the same love that he gave to his nieces, to his nephews, and he regarded those as his as well. Being as nieces, being as nephews to him, they were his children. He's the person who taught us, Uguti, love doesn't expire, love expands. Aguti, just because you are adding other people, then the love that a person has for you suddenly shrinks. Uchilumai Shomewati, he thought he was a special one with all of the gifts that Udada gave to him. But it is the gift that he gave to everyone, and we are grateful for that. That is who he was. Now, I think what is most important and what is touching to me is that he didn't only give of his love, he gave of his time as well. Oh, he gave everyone he met time. Bathetile abantu base border Rugby about the time he gave to cleaners, to people who tended to the gardens, all of those things. You know, to go to work, and he would do the same in those workplaces. From the time angena egating, he knows the person who is working Egeti by name, and he knows the language that they speak, athethe nabo, and would talk about and ask them about about their children. That is who he was. And I'm very glad and I'm very grateful that everyone else got to benefit from that love. He was a great sibling to his brothers and sisters. They have lost a friend, they have lost a confidant, they've lost a protector, they've lost a defender. Utatam, in today's terms, would sweep the floor ngawe for anything that you did to his siblings. And that is who he was. I also got to benefit from that because Etanda, he used to say, I'm the deputy sister. And that is obviously because for the first half of my life, his father had fathered me. But for the last part, he moved from being Ubuti to being Udadam. And I'm grateful also for that time that we got to build on that relationship. The Rugby community spoke about the respect, the fact that Abantu could go to him and he would give them advice. Udada was not, there wasn't any time that he wouldn't be ready with advice for you. People spoke about how he would listen. You know, I remember 2 years ago, I was crying. I called him crying because I had to work through my maternity leave. One mamela, and in the end he said, but Baba, you are not staff. You were never going to get a maternity leave. And you know, those are things that we never get told generally, but those are things that he always could say, and could say them in such a way that you actually understand where he is coming from, but also understand that it is not the world against you, but this is how the world is. And we are grateful for that. To everyone, we are grateful for all of the support. We are grateful for the messages that you have been sending. We're grateful for all of the additional memories because he left us with a lot of memories. We have been loved. Dada Wetu loved us. We knew this. He told us all the time. We would wake up in the morning with messages that he would have written at 2 a.m. to just tell us how much he loved us. We have been loved, we have great memories, but we are also grateful for these additional memories that you have given us throughout this week. Now, he wasn't obviously an angel, Nivile, but as Ubudimphutumi said, he could use the colorful language in a romantic way as well. Uguti, you would actually ended up not minding Uguti utete amagama anjani because you knew they were from love. Dada lived the Great Commission. He came here to love and to give to humanity. He didn't come here for himself. And as his children and Amambinga as a whole, we are proud to have been gifted with such a legendary person. He was a great life. And Ubudimphutumi challenged us earlier on to say we need to inspire just one person. And I'm then wanting to add to that challenge to say, in order to keep his memory alive, let us inspire just one, feed just one, employ just one, develop just one. Just do something for just one other person that will lift them. And that is a way that we can keep his memory alive. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mambing. Thank you for that moving tribute. Just before, as we come to the end of the memorial, I just have two videos to play. And before that, let me just take these tributes. Ozoliswa babini aba Zoliswa Twani. As it go well, Mawawa. I will cherish your political contribution as my student leader at Rhodes University in Grahamstown. Okay, adjudicator ke kwa choral kele usizo yegegele ukuba ejongene neMiriam Makeba Paimont. Zolisa Sigabi, my former colleague at Radio Siskai, uzo uti lala ngoxolo Mpinga Mawawa Ntomntwana. Your conference zonzakele. Inxeba lenzulu kodwa ke sakuzama ukulala ngalo. Fare thee well, great friend and brother. Then Alina Silwane, and moving tribute to the giant, Mr. Monde Tabata. I met you in 2007 briefly, and I must say you are a man of integrity. Zosigabi, again saying Mawawa had an agile mind, very resourceful, and had strong views about stuff he was passionate about. And we, as his conference, were reflecting on the tests being done on Umhlonyane's pharmaceutical. He said the important thing is that it must be registered in terms of the Indigenous Knowledge Systems Act, so that if stolen by big pharmacy, we can sue on behalf of our people. So that we can sue on behalf of our people. He added that the second thing is that environmental affairs must do a census so that as in Ngosi do not sell them to the Chinese, Somalis, and Pakistanis. Ifana no Mawawa gele. Mandivela utibegile dade mazenetole. May his soul rest in perfect peace. Let me bring you this short video from a former border captain, Usiyam Daka.
I'd like to firstly send my deepest condolences.
We're going to play the Usiyam Daka video. All right, he took his videos. If I can see, I could be. Oh, that's right. That's right.
I'd like to firstly send my deepest condolences to the Tabata family. Your loss today is our loss, and your pain is also our pain. I pray that God will bring peace and comfort to you during this difficult time. Mr. T was like a father to many of us, and he played such a big role in many people's lives, including mine. I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for his influence. I will forever be grateful to him for how he lived his life so selflessly, and for the way he was able to see potential in me and support me 100%. I want to say thank you, Mr. T, for the late night telephonic conversations, which were filled with sound advice and loads of encouragement. May your soul rest in peace, Mr. T.
Rugby ngeke ngamanye amaxesha i-forwards zingakubhida ucimba ufaka Usiyam Daka kanti sofake uchumani boy ke lowo ebesenza le tribute former border coach. Okay, let's get Eka Siya, and then after that we will wrap up. Usiyam Daka tribute.
Good day, everyone. My name is Usiyam Daka, a former Border Bulldogs player. I was very saddened to hear about the passing of Mr. T.
Rugby ngexa kufakwa substitutes ngenye ixesha ibizwa ikude kufuneka iqala iyofudumala ibile qhopho phambi kokuba ifakwe ebaleni so inoba kwenzeka loo nto ke ngoku kuba sizawufaka i-substitute. This is our last tribute and then after this we say goodbye.
Good day, everyone. My name is Siam Dag, a former Border Bulldogs player. Good day, everyone. My name is Siam Dag, a former Border Bulldogs player. I was very saddened to hear about the passing of Mr. T. I want to express my deepest sympathy to the
family, friends. I want you
to know that my thoughts and prayers are with you.
So we wrap up before 9:30. The Siam Daga tribute.
Good day, everyone. My name is Siam Dag, a former Border Bulldogs player. I was very saddened to hear about the passing of Mr. T.
Okay.
I want to express my deepest sympathy to the
Mingele esivala ngayo ngoku imini yokukhumbula uMawawa. There was a time Ezweli chawanjwa ngeGC nanikhe ndimbone hamba ngeGC iGC4 yayizeza kwa education kwakusebenza ke time lakhe ke khona but naye umbona apha kwiGC4 sometimes hamba ngeGC9 sometimes ngeGC4 njalo bonba uMawawa njengomuntu assertive ukhona kwezinkalo zonke. All right, and thanks. In the meantime, let me thank you all, friends, particularly the people that took part in the memorial that we're doing, the tributes. Okay, from Barend van Kran. Thanks, Barend. Uyochopa ku Brambo. Ukitane ngosikakulu mkhuluwa no akona khadebe mfogam gijima. Thank you so much Khaya Mayedo mfundisi budmondegela ke besithi kwedini mfundisi and thank you so much. All right, ingaba se ready enkosi kakhulu ke napha ku MEC mamufeze kankomonye enkosi kumakhwalo shumi Kantile Maihlome Chwete enkosi Thangana enkosi ke nalapha kusisiyo Livena ndawonye nonomfundo Methula. Okay, is it ready now? Is it ready now?
My deepest sympathy to the Tabata family and friends.
Okay. Mhlambe xa ingakhalanga madoda.
I want you to know that my thoughts and prayers.
Yeah, konana andifuni nifeel guilty. You've done very well kwa technical tonight. You've done very, very well. Imoto ke kaBramunda isithi GCJ 771, yeah, GCJ 771. Ekamachawe isithi GCJ 309, yeah, GCJ. Bangena ngazo kwezomuntu Dimbaza Phakamisa Litha Ezwezwe ezihamba bakwanjwa ngezo GCJ. All right. No crazy, no zonke izichomi zikaMawawa zihamba ngezo GCJ phofu ke yakhe yayimonza Opel Monza GCJ 771 Monday Tabata. Okay, well, I think with that video performing, it's fine, and we'll send it to the family, you know, for the family to be able to listen to that message. I think that's all we had for you, friends. Thank you so much. And thanks to all the people that took part, in a special way, thanks to Tools, Obe, technical host, Kim Song Betuna, Sapaya, we workshops, some tools because abantu ku YouTube, okay, abantu ku YouTube bebe ibukele and trying to find la platform ibukele pa ku YouTube ibukele pha Ubumbo. Thank you so much, guys, pa Kubumbo, and all the friends who were watching the memorial Kubumbo. Okay, thanks to all the sponsors. Thanks to people that made it possible. Thanks to Reimagine SA. Yeah, our hosts, Reimagine SA. Thank you so much, guys. A special thanks also to the Eastern Cape Provincial Government, to EP Rugby Union, and all the structures. Thank you so much. Kamalam Pantu Kamafani, Sichon City Bekunadiga Kulu, Sikunye, Ngokwanje, Nangona Indus Tibansayo Ingem Nandinje. But it was nice to reminisce, go down memory lane and remember some of the things and pick up some of those things. A legacy that we have to run with. Zonke Ntobes Baliswango Mawawa are things as a Begam Nanawe Mjojwin, Konukuze, Singai Ibola. If Monde Ebenobubele, we've got to pick that up and run with. If Monde Ebe Kadinango for anybody's career opportunities, that's what you and I have to do. All of us. In remembrance of Monde, we've got to facilitate and make things happen for other Black people. There are younger people that are coming up so that Siege unemployed graduates. So we may kick the doors open in remembrance of Monde Tabata. Thank you so much. Good night.
Good night.
Thank you. Thank you. It was lovely.
Thank you, Khader. I guess from Zambia, you may leave the meeting. Engoska kulumfundis. Engoska kulumkweti lumfundis. Zawudliwa ke nje buhleka nje Khader.
Hey, badonza this.
Thank you so much. Sesphumile mose moyeni ngoku ne?
We've got 2 minutes. Yeah. Sesphuma.
Sihlinza nje kanti sisesemoyeni. Hayi. Let's leave the meeting.